18 different ways and draw circles. And
She doesn't get these boxes. You have 17, 21, well, you don't have it all. 10 and 20, and then you have 7 on that one. Like, you're talking about so,
I get that.
so county, that's that goal, is the county talk to her, have a basis.
Well, there's access. And at that point, it's access for what we can.
He did take that.
So she sent me a bunch of lists that I said,
We have to know where the numbers.
Absolutely.
How to get the numbers, where to get them from. All we're doing is plugging them into equations that already exist.
Right,
We're not doing math.
right, exactly.
We will know the ones that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Basically, if you can start. That's all.
Fine.
I could start. Our side.
so they had that.
Sure, it's the static.
Sure.
I was trying to call our.
Norris usually sits,
Actually,
but that's
That's on.
Should we have Norris sitting up?
I think we had 300 people.
My curiosity. That's the city of the version I should go for. But I don't know. Yeah.
Roundabout.
I didn't see it, yeah. Yeah.
Really easy level.
Yeah.
Let's bring all this kids up.
Who's that? I know, because for sure. That was the last time I was here. It was like, oh, it's possession. Yeah. It always happens to me. Correct.
Sure, this was.
Everything I can remember, I think.
I'll be That's very true.
Yeah,
On a weekend, you know.
chief, I'm not feeling so.
I mean, if you look at what
Give me the cover, I'll give it to
Got me in the definite.
Remember to call me in the morning?
Screen recall. I screen recall. This person is silent.
So I think the fact that it's just trying to get the neighbors.
I just learned that in the last year.
Yeah, I learned that. I saw him about this times.
Because I think I had this calls from somebody. They're on everybody else.
They can't only have one food chat, they want to start three different.
And then not remember who was in.
And somebody missing one small. That message, and I'm like,
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? How are you?
need them all.
Yes, I am. First step in the phone, like, yeah. You know how I do. Sorry, some of that. Yeah. All I do is I'll spread out the. Oh, yeah. Otherwise, give me a call. Yeah. I can text them. The first one, when I was walking off in there, and then I went for that in the last piece. Step up. It is your father's.
Very full.
Whenever I suggest something.
He doesn't want any service.
We'll figure it out.
No, yeah, present.
They got any more locks?
Either all. What's that?
They're all.
Yeah, they're my last right now. They probably got another 20 or 30 trucks taking all of them.
Yes, and that's all we do, we do nothing.
Yeah, I live back.
Ask us anything, anybody can say anything.
Oh.
And I know, but he said no. Yeah, otherwise, yes. See, North always sits on that side.
Just trying to spread out a little. Make us look like.
Yeah.
You don't be here.
Because if I can do like,
Oh, okay.
I will CJ, he emailed me, because I told him to pass it to CJ. Yeah, because I jumped to get a pass. Anyway, there may be some.
Oh.
Everybody on stage can use it. Yes. Well, yeah.
Actually, if I'm busy. So I don't
Do a little bit different country from here.
Yeah.
Particularly in my head was, I had even like hours of trees.
How are you?
In the water. Substance trees are right here. Walk
Yeah.
They have to take out the black. Have you seen the rest?
Yeah. Some of them salvageable, some of them, I follow stuff. I'm supposed to, like, how much I'm falling on those matchsticks all
They have their.
Tim Roberts, one of his, actually.
Because we had a meeting yesterday.
Well, you got this,
right?
no, that's a back as well. That way.
John. You know.
We'll call the Three Lakes Town Board of Supervisors regular meeting for November 4th to order at 5:31. Start. Pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please just report on the agenda postings first.
Three Lakes Town Board of Supervisors regular meeting closed session agenda for November 4th, 2025 was posted in accordance with Wisconsin open meeting law.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda in any order.
Motion Lopez, second Cottingham. Discussion. All in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0. Welcome, everybody. What do we have? A lot of people here, more than some meetings combined. Announcement number one, Park and Plan Commission are seeking new members to fill vacancies. So if you're interested in either the Park Commission or the Plan Commission, we can tell you who the commissioner is for each one of those and put you in touch with them. This is the last announcement for our special meetings starting at 5 o'clock. The annual budget public hearing, annual special town budget meeting, annual special town board budget meeting, November 18th, 2025, and the regular town board meeting will follow. Moving on to review and approval of minutes.
I reviewed the minutes and I would make a motion to approve as presented.
Commissioner Minkowski. Second Cottingham, discussion?
I do have some discussion,
Yes.
and I wish I caught this sooner. The paragraph where we talk about the cost sharing for the tower project would be right in the middle of the front page.
Okay.
I gotta admit, I threw the notes away I had from that discussion, but I'm asking the clerk when she's back from vacation to make sure that's the correct dollar amount. It may be, but I remember my packet material was originally presented with one estimate, and then during the time of the meeting, we were presented with a different estimate.
No, it
And
was,
those numbers were different, so I just want to make, I'm not saying this is the wrong number, I want to make sure it's the correct number.
it is the correct number.
Okay.
What you had is you only had the first page of the estimate that showed the permits and so on, and then she brought back the second page. So the total of the project was like 2,500 and so on.
As long as we're confident the number's right, I'm happy. I wasn't sure, and I didn't have both sets of material to compare to.
Any other discussion?
I was gonna say, aside from that, I'm good. Thank you.
No other discussion, all in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0. Reports and presentations, discuss Frank Witkowski and Jacob Edis, TL 374-11, South Side. You have before you there letter and supporting documents from, I believe it was Haynes and Associates.
I got something I'd like to add.
Go ahead.
I'll start by saying that, me personally, generally speaking, very hesitant to give up any town-owned property. You truly never know what the future will bring. And I think that's been proven over and over and over again over many years. However, when I look at their request, we are talking, I believe, 1,293 square feet of town property. You guys have the information. I would say this is a very special circumstance. I haven't talked to them personally. I haven't felt the need, but I'd be happy to if we ever need to. I feel I fully understand what you're after. I personally, I have no objection to their request. However, I would say I would recommend we sell the property at a cost, not give. I don't think we're in the business of giving all land away. So that would be my recommendation personally. I'm willing to work with them on their request, but I think it needs to be a cost associated.
My recommendation actually is.
And I should add, and there's no cost to the house. I mean, all legal fees, title fees, cost.
Which they offered to pay.
Yeah, I'm just being clear that I'm willing to entertain this personally, but with no expense to the town.
I'm not going to say anything.
So I guess going down the line, what I would say is, I went out there and I looked at it. I found what I thought was our northeast corner, which would be on the east side of their driveway. I paced it off about 188 feet is the distance. And I know that that's where the property boundary ends heading west. And I looked at it, and I went out there again and I looked at it with our town shop. public works superintendent, and we looked at it and talked about a lot of different scenarios. On one hand, my thoughts mirror a lot of what you said, Matt. The town can't just buy or sell land like an individual can. It's not a matter of us saying, yeah, you can buy it, or hey, we're gonna go buy this over here. And our job as the town board of supervisors is to protect the resources of all of our taxpayers. That's the bottom line. So what I came up with as a solution would be to deny the request for purchasing the property, but to encourage them to apply for an easement, because the driveway is already there. It was already there when we acquired the property. And if they had an easement, they could access their property as much or as little as they wanted to, and we wouldn't be giving up any property. But if they were to do that, if there's any costs incurred at all, it would be at their expense. I think that's a win-win situation for everyone involved. The town doesn't give up property it owns, you don't have to go through the process of a hearing, et cetera, et cetera. And we're able to achieve what they want, and it would be transferable upon the sale. That's my 2 cents worth.
You can't give away property.
I didn't say give away.
Or sell. Without going through legal channels. And then at the end, a judge has to approve it. There's a lot of paperwork, a lot more than just, yeah, we'll sell it to you. And as Supervisor Bowen said, I'm against doing any of that. With this piece of property, they have, and we've granted access.
Have we granted access? No, I'm asking.
No, it's not,
And I think
it's not an official access, because the easement or the driveway was there when we obtained the property. And so it wasn't platted as an easement.
And
And the easiest way to rectify it would be to do that versus, again, so if we want to acquire land or dispose of land, sell it, you need to go through public hearings
Yeah,
and legal channels.
I'm well aware, and that's why I would be, that's why I would not let any of the burden fall on the town. And of course, there's some administrative duties, I respect that, but expense-wise, none of it on the town. I forgot to add one kind of unique scenario that reminded me of it behind just my own opinion, is that I remember when we acquired that parcel a couple of years ago, 3 to 4 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, it doesn't matter. So that's a fairly recent acquisition. I think we got it for a good price. I'm not out to take advantage of anybody, but I think this could be an opportunity to recoup our investment in that parcel in return for the slater we invested. So that was just another element in my opinion on the matter. It's kind of a unique situation along that.
Josh, how much of that property that runs right along Rice Lake Road would be considered road right away anyway?
Majority of it. So we're on the south end, we're talking, this property is 6 feet wide, tapering up to 10 feet wide for a distance of 100 feet. Majority of it's not right away. I think the portion we're talking about in question is actually like this water near ditch line.
So therefore it becomes property.
We have road right of way. Do you think they're gonna give away your side?
Yeah.
I don't get what you're saying about the road right away though. That's not what the survey shows. I mean, of course, the parcel in question borders road right away, but, here, Josh, do you want to look at my survey? What they're asking for is not shown as road right away in the survey provided by Mains.
This one's, you're looking at that one, that's one, this one, that's the road.
It's right here, is the parcel in question.
Correct, and there's the road. This one shows it's separated from the road.
Yeah, here's 66 feet.
The road that you visibly see is on the south side of the right of way. It's not centered.
So are you guys claiming this is wrong?
Yeah, which is right here.
Yes.
I saw that page too.
That's my point.
Yes.
Right.
So why are we saying the sliver that the Wilkowskis are interested in is within the road right away? It is not. And I apologize, but that's how I took this discussion.
This here is 6 feet wide, that tapers up to 10 feet.
So for clarity, we agree that the parcel thereafter, or that
South
they're
side of
interested.
the Colorado West.
Correct, it's not within the town road.
Correct.
That's the regular 66 feet.
For motion.
So, okay, I'll take a stab at a motion. If you guys like it, that's fine. If you don't, works. So I would make a motion, to deny the request for purchasing property or acquiring it, but to highly encourage, to highly encourage Mr. Wilkowski and Ms. Edits, to apply for an easement. And then we would take that from there, if.
I'll second for the sake of discussion.
Okay.
Can I ask them a question? Sure.
That's what you're.
Hi. I'm just curious, since you guys took the time to be here, do you feel like an easement fits your needs? And if it doesn't, could you tell me more?
So it was our understanding from our attorney that after a certain period of time, an easement is kind of void. It's certainly something that if you denied our request to basically rewrite the line, we have no other option to pursue, but it was at our attorney's recommendation that we go this approach.
Thank you.
Can I do a question? And I feel like I'm putting you on the spot, I apologize in advance. But in your letter, you stated that you would perhaps be willing to make an offer to purchase that piece of property. Do you have an amount in mind?
No, that's something that we would, obviously, if that's the next phase, we would like to have that discussion with you as to what would be a reasonable
Sure,
amount for
through
that.
meetings. And that amount would have to go through, the meetings.
Right.
So then,
But that, whatever amount would have to be approved through the annual meetings and so on. So we can't just say yes and then pick an amount, because again, it's not the property that we're selling. So.
right, but we did,
And that was also our understanding from the attorney, that if it went to that point, we just needed to start here so that we could just have those discussions in place, hopefully before that annual meeting.
but we are able to, I just want to make sure I understood you right. I mean, doesn't mean they have to accept the offer, but we can name whatever price we want. Am I right? Anyway, I have a price in mind. But that's irrelevant to Jim's motion at the moment.
Correct.
I just want to add one more thing, because I sense the way this vote is going to go, and just so you guys know. If it makes you feel better, I have 2 properties of mine that have easements on them and have for at least 45 years, and I haven't had any issues with them, just because I sense the way this is going. So, I mean, don't lose hope on the easement thing, if that's the way you have to.
Well, and I think if the vote goes that way, the easement would be recorded.
Right.
And therefore, so they've had,
Right.
easement for
Yeah.
years that hasn't been recorded, so.
Right.
A proper easement would be recorded, and then I don't see there'd be a sunset on it disappearing.
Yeah.
It would travel, with the title work, however many times the property were to turn over.
I think my last point of view on it is, regardless of whether it's town property or if I was on the private side, again, there's a lot to factor in. I don't have to regurgitate all that, but I like avoiding things like easements and stuff when possible. I think everyone prefers a full parcel when possible.
And if we're gonna let them drive on it anyway, we're not gonna go tax rates.
I like taking the burden off the town, one less easement, one less, but again, I can go back and forth, I just want to split that out.
I see easement as less burden on the town than several meetings to sell unless that small of a parcel. So, any other discussion? The motion and a second to deny and encourage an easement. All in favor of approval, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? 3-2. If you're interested in the easement, we would start with, item 7, licenses and permits.
Yes.
No, keep your notes. Fine.
All right. I have an operator's license for Sean Griffin for 2 years for Sorellas. This is a new license. Background check and everything's been checked and meets our ordinance. I'll make a motion to approve the operator's license as certified and presented.
Mr. Volpez,
Second.
Noakowski, all in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Alright, payment of bills, were used for bi-weekly payroll in the amount of $27,725.83. Electronic payment of taxes was $10,119.02. Electronic payment of retirement was $14,034.47. Repeat checks and the numbers of 58466 to 58506 were used to pay expenses in the amount of $110,581.55. The electronic payment for the employer portion of employee benefits was $4,321.82.
For a total of $166,782.69.
Motion to pay the bills is presented.
Motion Cottingham,
Second.
second Noakowski. All in favor?
Discussion.
No, sure.
I just wanted to comment that for the life of me, I couldn't think of what on earth Pinhole Farms Enterprises had to do with the town of Three Lakes. But if anyone cares, I did my own research and that relates to the meat raffle to the Veterans Memorial.
Yes, it does.
That one threw me off. That's it.
Okay. Motion and second, and all in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0.
Good eye, yeah, good eye, good eye, good eye.
First set of public comments.
Just a couple things, we did have the
Hold on,
drug back, and we
Yep.
did take in, 3,
We're going to turn the microphone around, so.
okay.
Okay.
For our whole drug take back, we did take in 34.5 pounds of medications. Again, this is an annual thing that we do 2 times a year, so we have those medications, we usually put it through, we have a drop box all year long, don't wait till the event, you drop it off there. The other thing is that we will be getting, hosting again our safety class for BTB in Somerville here at Town Hall on December 20th and 21st. And they can register on the mobile app. So, classes.
Thank you. Josh, anything? Scott? None?
Question, on the park board, it's in plural vacancies, how many openings are there?
So it should be vacancies. There's one each for park and one for plan.
Okay, got it.
Everybody else is with the waterfront?
Well, yeah, I'm with them, but
Okay.
I got a comment about easements.
Mhm.
How many easements is the town of Three Lakes involved with? I didn't know that easements are very, very different, every one of them. and they have to be drafted specifically for a specific situation. I don't know that you can assume, I don't know this situation, but encourage them to do it, but I'm wondering what your legal responsibility is in easements. Sounds like a road ordinance, Mr. Cunningham. I'm just wondering if you voted for something that is possible.
We didn't vote, we just said,
Well, you're encouraging them, but by
We're
encouraging
To
them,
look into
you're-
it, because the point is we weren't selling the property.
I understand that.
I mean, they have an easement that's been in existence for 25 years and nobody said anything. I'm just encouraging them. She was worried about it disappearing to fill out and, go through the proper channels to get the
So they're
easement recorded.
driving over a piece of property already,
Correct.
and they've been doing it 25 years. They can claim ownership.
well, they could.
Well, you gotta go to court for that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's,
Well,
Okay.
but we own it for the last 4, so there was a
Okay.
change. We purchased it.
inherited it. Okay.
Yes, correct.
Sorry, I didn't mean to distract.
We have one of these on Creel Road in existence already.
Mhm.
Goes back for a long time.
Okay.
All right, if everybody else is from the waterfront, one spokesperson, because again, public comments are typically reserved for agenda items, so. Fred?
Fred Knott, president of Three Lakes Waterfront Association. I'm hoping that all of you had looked at the email that I sent you with the petition that we had on our website and at our annual meeting. To get it down to the nuts and bolts, every signatory on the petition agrees with having the town take a look at ordinances governing the behavior of wake surf boats on the Three Lakes chain. And I hope you all read that. We have, to this date, 520 signatures on that petition. We have not had much dialogue about this topic, so what I would suggest, a way to go forward in this, is to have an ad hoc committee formed, which would have representatives from the town board, from environmental organizations such as ours, and wake boat owners. I think we could get a good dialogue going on that, and everyone has some concept or misconceptions about what we want. We don't want to outlaw wake boats. That's not in our goal. Our goal is to have wake boats operate in an environmentally safe manner, and that is possible. But we need discussion on this, so I would like the ad hoc committee to be formed of those three: the town board, environmental organizations, and the wake boat owners themselves. Thank you.
Along those lines, when I was president of the Waterfront Association for 8 years, you guys had a great concern about the Eurasian water milfoil because it was clogging all the lakes. And we did a pretty good job over those 8 years and the next 8 years. And I spoke before the board every year, an update on how we were doing because the board was concerned about that. Now, we have a concern and we'd like the board to look at what we're concerned about. All we want is a hearing. We just want to have our voices heard in the way that Fred said. But for us to have done what we did, we acquired and spent $1.8 million so far keeping the lakes clean, and that makes you guys all pretty happy. Jeff, you know what it's like to have tourism up here, water skiing and everything else. And so that's all we're asking for, is just to be heard, not one side or the other, but just that. Thanks.
Anyone else? Since public comments are over, I will make a motion that we move into closed session in accordance with Wisconsin statute 19.85, subsection 1, subsection E. Deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investment in public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, specifically to continue discussion on the Three Lakes Police Officers Association and union negotiations. I need a second.
Second.
Second, Baltus. Question or are you ready to roll? Wolfowski?
Aye.
Wilson?
Aye.
Brisk, aye. 5-0. Give it a moment to clear the room and we'll.
How you doing? In general.
In general,
Yes, we have.
should we have a beer?
Yeah.
Surely.
You're okay. We're giving you 10 more seconds.
Thank you.
I'm not as fast as I used to be.